Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to my channel. If you haven't been here before, my name is Jennifer Diamond, and I live a whole food, plant-exclusive, sos-free, gluten-free lifestyle for health and well-being. And today, I'm bringing you along to make a raw fruit tart. So today I am getting ready to go to another potluck. I do a lot of potlucks, but you could use this if you're just wanting to have a family event, a birthday, or just, it's the weekend and you just want some type of a dessert. You could do this in like a pie kind of pan, or you could do it in these little fruit tart little tins that I don't have. I'm going to be using a cupcake. It's not a tin, but this guy. And so it should be super easy. So what we're going to use for the base are going to be walnuts. Now, you could use something else besides walnuts. If you didn't want to do nuts, you could use a dried fruit like a mulberry, or I don't know if you could use the goji berries. I've never tried it, but anyways, we're going to go ahead and do it with the walnuts. We're going to have some walnuts here, and we've got some dates. These are medjool dates, and these have not been pitted, so I'm going to go ahead and take a minute and just open them up. It's always important to not only take the pit out, because that will ruin your food processor, but make sure inside is nice and fresh. Every once in a while, I'll get one that's no good, and so that's a great way for me to know, because it's hard to tell on the outside. So I'm just going to do 5 of these, and one of these days, I'm going to figure out what to do with the pits, because I know that there are people that bake and do different things with the pits of the dates, but I just don't know what to do with them. So unfortunately, I'm not collecting them. And every one of these dates looks great. And I think I have 2 cups of walnuts here and 5 dates. You want it a little sweeter, add an extra date. You don't want as many dates, you can take one away. It's pretty much up to you. But this is basically our crust. So I'm going to rinse my fingers, get this in the food processor, and let's blend. Okay, so I've got my S-blade in here, and I'm going to go ahead and pour this in. We've got these guys going in. Let me plug it in. And what I want to also tell you about the dates, I usually keep my dates in the freezer, and sometimes they're not super soft when I thaw them, or maybe I buy them and they're just not super super soft to the touch. And so if you have some dates that are a little on the drier side, go ahead and get a little hot water and soak them in a little hot water for, just, I don't know, maybe 10-15 minutes to soften them up, because that moisture and that softness, it's what's going to help bind the walnuts together to be able to press and form a crust. So that's an important tip. All right, here we go. That actually smells really good. I'm excited. Let me turn the power all the way off and let's take a peek. And this looks pretty good. Look at that. You guys see that? So it's crumbly, and let's play around and see if this is crumbled enough. So I'm going to go ahead and unplug this, which I usually like to do first. And let's put the lid down over here. And so I want to just be able to form it. Oh yeah, look at that. That is going to be great. You see how it's forming together? And it's soft. It's perfect. So let's go ahead and take the blade out. And I'm going to move our beautiful food processor machine out of the way. And then the next thing we're going to want to do is either take your pie crust and start shaping it to the shape of the pie, Or for me, I'm gonna try to do it in the muffin tin or that we have here. So you could use gloves or you could just use your fingers, but I'm just gonna take, let's see, maybe I'll measure it so it's easier for us to follow. How about my lemon baller? I always love that guide. Let's see if 1 melon baller scoop is enough. Let's just kind of, and what I want to do is I just want to press it into the bottom, press it around, and if it can go up the sides, you know, that's fine, because then it'll just hold a little better. Now, if you didn't have one of these and you still wanted to do a smaller amount, you could try it in those paper, cupcake papers. I've never done that before, so I'm not sure how it would work. But frankly, I haven't done it in this, you know, this form yet either. So we're doing it together. But the pie crust, the pie pan definitely would work. Now, to take it out of the pie crust, might be challenging. You know what you might actually consider? A foam, one of those foam, spring foam pans. That would be really good because it'll keep it nice and tight, and then when you unclick it, you have the whole thing. Hey, I'm gonna suggest that one. So if anyone has used that, or if you try it and you find it to be very successful, please leave a comment below and let me know how that went and how that worked out for you. And don't forget to subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you'll be notified when I go live or post new videos. And give me a thumbs up. I would love the support. So we're just going to continue to go around here. And I'm doing one of scoop. This is my small melon scooper, melon ball scooper. I have 2 of them. I tend to go with the small one because I feel like I can always add. And if I go with the big one, then I got to start scooping it if it's too thick or if it doesn't work. But I want to make sure that I have enough here. And you could even cut this recipe in half. It really depends on how many people you want to make this for and, you know, what your goal is. If I weren't going to a potluck and I was just having like a family gathering, I think I would prefer it in the spring form pan if I was going for the larger look, and see what that would come out like. But for now, we're gonna go this route and hope for the best. Now, this kind of silicone pan, you know, it gives. So it's a little different than if you had a ceramic or a different kind of material that kind of holds it better. But the reason that I really like this is because at the end, they're usually pretty easy to pop out, and that's what I'm looking for. Simple, easy way to pop this out. Yeah, they're not really going up the side, so I'm just adding a little bit more to the base, and that's fine too. But if you do have a pan that will allow it to go up a little bit, then I would recommend and suggest that. It also looks really nice when you get the slice cut, if it is a slice, you know, to just have that kind of buffer on the back and you can really see the layers. Okay, so here we go. A little messy looking, but we got it down. Look at that. Oh my goodness. So it's not going to be in the oven or anything like that, so we don't really have to worry about that. I'm going to set this aside right now, rinse my fingers. We're going to move on to the center. Okay, so we're gonna do the filling now. I guess I should get rid of these right there. And I think you could probably use a Vitamix or some kind of high-speed blender for this, but I'm gonna go ahead and use the NutriBullet and see how that works out. I don't know, we can always move it if we need to, but I've got it right here. So let's put this together and move this guy out of our way. And so the first thing that we're gonna do is, I have some cashews. These are raw cashews, and I keep my nuts and seeds in the refrigerator, so these were cold, but I went ahead, just to give them a little extra help in softening them, I went ahead and put some hot water. I think it was, I did it on my refrigerator, 180 degrees, or 185, I think, but it just hot water, and just let it soak for a small amount of time. I'm gonna go ahead and drain this and add it right in here. Okay, so we've got the cashews, 1.5 cups of cashews. And then just for a little I'm adding a half of a frozen banana and 3 more medjool dates, which I have to do what we did before, take the pit out, and these are super soft, so they did not need to be soaked or anything like that. Wow, these are really good. I just bought these, so a couple of days ago, and boy, they were good. Okay, let me rinse my fingers. And the next thing I want to add is vanilla bean. Now, normally when we cook together, I use the vanilla bean powder, and you certainly could use the vanilla bean powder. If you don't have vanilla bean powder, you could use vanilla extract. I personally prefer not to use this. I happen to have some, but the reason that I don't care for this is because it does have alcohol in it, and I'd rather just have the ground up vanilla bean. The powder is pretty amazing, but for this recipe, I thought, why not try the actual bean? I actually have all of these vanilla beans in this pack that I bought some time ago, and I just have had it sealed, and so I cut it open and I took one out, and it was really, really dry, but the smell, the fragrance, the scent, it's so yummy if you love vanilla. Anyways, I went ahead and took a little more of the hot water off of our refrigerator and just tried to soak it. So let's together, you usually don't need to do that, but let's together cut this open and see if I can get anything out. If I can't, if they're just, too hard, then I will go for the vanilla bean powder, but I thought it would be fun to try this together. So let me get a knife. You want to get a sharp knife. You want to be very careful, and let's do this. Okay, so what you want to do with the vanilla bean is you want to cut down the center of it. And this seems to be really hard, and it shouldn't be this hard, but let me see if I could do that. And then you just want to open it up. There we go. Kind of just want to, let me score it a little better. I hope you can see this. And then you just want to open it up. And the idea is to scrape out the insides, because the insides are the vanilla. This is Madagascar vanilla bean, and it's really dry. I don't know if this is going to work, but let's just try it. What you would do is you would just scrape. Oh, look at that. It is working. You just scrape out the center here, and that's it. That's what we want. That's the golden yummy. So I'm going to try to scrape out the whole bean's worth and put it in our NutriBullet for extra vanilla flavor. Now, you don't have to use the whole thing. Could use half. I guess we could just kind of play with it and see how much we get. Because a little bit goes a long way, I believe. And man, if you could smell this, oh my goodness. So yummy. Now, vanilla beans are not inexpensive. So, you got to decide what you want to try. But if you've never tried a vanilla bean, the actual bean, maybe consider trying it for something that that you want to bake, just to have that experience. And, if that's not something that you can afford or that you want to do at this time, that's okay. So you could just see how I'm doing it here. And you could use the vanilla bean powder or the vanilla extract. Now, I actually did not get that much out of this. I thought I was going to use out the whole thing, but because it's dry and I got all this, I think I'm just going to go with that amount here. And this isn't really a measurable amount. Let's see if we can measure it. If I were doing the vanilla bean powder, I'd probably do I'd probably do 1/8 of a teaspoon. So let's see what this does. And you know what? That's what this is. This is 1/8 of a teaspoon. All right, in it goes. Now, I can save the rest to do something else with. Some people actually, after they take out everything in the inside, they keep this outside and they soak it and boil it, and you can use the vanilla water for other things. So, all kinds of stuff can be done with the vanilla beans. So let me rinse my fingers and we'll be back. I do want to also mention that the vanilla bean, that was really sticky too. So different kind of a texture thing. I got a little tiny bit right here. We'll just throw that in there. All right. So moving on, I am going to add some lemon. I want to put some zest on top at the end, but I think it would be really nice to add a little bit of lemon juice in here to have just that kind of like a spring light type of flavor, and I think it will complement the vanilla bean quite nicely. I also have taken organic lemons, the rind, the outside, and I have put it in my dehydrator and then dried it out and then grind it up in my dry mix, which is right here, my dry mix container, and have made my own lemon rind powder. So I might add, you know, I could add a little of that in there too, and some fresh lemon juice. If you didn't have this, of course, don't worry about it. I'm just gonna put like a 1/16 of a teaspoon because I'm using the fresh, but just kind of fun, you know, something different to do with it. And so let me go ahead and I think the best thing to do would be to collect the rind ahead of time. It's just easier than cutting it and doing it later. So let me grab a little dish. I'm gonna grab this little dish here, and I'm going to take my microplane and I'm just going to move it along. You gotta just move it along. You don't wanna go back and forth because then you're gonna get the pithy part, and that will not taste very good. It's a little on the bitter side. The flavor is mostly here in the rind. So I'm just gonna collect that, set it aside for later, put the juice in, and we'll be ready to blend. And that is that. We've got some really beautiful looking rind here we're gonna set aside and cut the lemon in half and get a couple little seeds out. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and just squeeze it right over top. Just kind of an eyeball. It's mostly just for flavor. And whatever else you need in terms of liquid, we will add in water. And you don't want it runny. This is gonna be the filling. This is kind of like the custardy center. So you just wanna make sure that we just have it so that it's nice and creamy. So let me put the lid on, plug it in, and blend it up. Now, I'm not adding the water yet. I just wanna kind of see with the liquid that we have in here from the lemon, how that works. So let's just go ahead and plug this in. Now, if we do need water, we could use this water. This was the water that we had the vanilla bean soaking in. And so it would have that little bit of vanilla bean flavor to it. You could also use the water that if you needed to soak your dates, you could use that water. So you can just think about using up stuff you already have that may also have extra flavor added into it. All right, here we go. Working, we love when it's working. Yes, oh, it looks great. All right. Ooh, there we go. That's what I want it to look like. Can you see that? Okay, so I'm unplugging it, and I'm just gonna clear out some space here, and we're gonna get ready to put it in the tins. So give me just a minute. Okay, so this is looking delicious. And I hope it tastes good too. All right. So I'm just going to, I always scrape the lid out, and I just kind of want to fill this in. That's what we want to do. We want to fill in this area here, and I might want to get a different thing, like a different spoon or tool to do this. So I'm doing about 1.5 to 2 teaspoonsfuls, and you could just eye whatever works for you. I'm trying to make sure to cover all of the crust portion of it, and then I want also not to go all the way up because we're going to be putting some fruit on the top. And that is gonna be the finished part of this deliciousness. So, there we go, look at that. So far, so good. Now we just need to decorate it. And while I get the fruit ready, I'm kind of tempted to just put this in the freezer just to kind of let it, you know, get a little bit chilly. So why don't I do that? And then we'll get the fruit going and we'll be ready to decorate the top. We'll be right back. So I've got some fruit here, and I actually had fresh mangoes that I was planning on using for this, but guess what? Yesterday, I ate the last one. I just forgot. So anyways, it was really good and I enjoyed it. But so we're gonna go ahead and use some frozen organic mango, and it's been thawing. I'm gonna go ahead and cut it up. You could use any fruit that you want or like. Berries are incredible. So I've got some raspberries here that I'm gonna use, you know, and I've got some pretty green. We're gonna put some kiwi. These are the green kiwi. There's golden kiwi too. And then I do have, you know, the good old papaya that I love. You could use fresh strawberries. Blueberries are amazing. What you want to think about is rainbow colors. That's what you want to think, because we eat with our eyes first. And what we see gets the saliva and everything going, because digestion starts with the eyes, the visual. So you want it to be colorful and beautiful. So I'm just going to take a little bit of mango out here and just slice it up a little better. Of course, I really prefer fresh for this kind of thing, but in this case, I'm going to go ahead and use the frozen. And it's just thawed and it tastes just delicious. Mango. Have you had a mango lately? Just love tropical fruits. So, and I just have these little chunks. I'm cutting them into thirds. And it's thawed enough that the knife just goes right through. This one is a little bigger, so I got fourth, quarters out of that one. So 3, 4, just kind of use your own judgment about the thickness that you want if you're doing it the way that I'm doing it. And so there we go, we have that. And then I'm gonna go ahead and do some kiwi. Now, kiwi, some people do eat this furry skin. I don't care for that, so I prefer to peel it. So there are a couple different ways that we could get the kiwi out of this, so let's do both ways. So the first way is I'm just gonna cut off the ends on both sides and put that aside. And actually with a paring knife or a smaller knife, we'll just peel the skin off. Let me grab a paring knife that I have here. And I'm just gonna go ahead and just gently and carefully peel off all the skin. Now, I do save my scraps for veggie broth, but in this case, I would probably just recommend you compost it or discard it if you aren't doing that. But some people, like my son-in-law, he eats the whole thing like an apple, skin and all. I don't know. For me, I just prefer the inside. So I like it clean and deferred. So we're gonna do that today. All right, this is the last strip here, and see how easy that comes off? And then we have this beautiful kiwi. Now, another way you could do it is cut it in half, which is what I'm gonna do here. Cut it in half, and then get a spoon, which I happen to have here too, and just kind of go into, right under the skin and kind of scoop it out. And let's just gently go around the edge. And the spoon is right about to here, so I still have it attached at the base. But just, there's, in other words, there's no real wrong way to do this. And then I'm just gonna kind of, now that I went around, I'm just gonna kind of go as far down as I can to the base. And now I'm just gonna do my best to scoop it out. There we go. Did we do it? Yeah, look at that, just about. See, it's still attached right there at the base. So I'll just cut that off. Hold on, I'm gonna use a different, the paring knife is easier to use this because that little piece was kind of stuck in there anyways. So here we go. So we've got a few different ways to get the kiwi out of the skin. And so at this point, what I'm gonna do is just make little circles. See the seeds in there? If you're not familiar with kiwi, they've got these edible, black, beautiful little seeds. And so there we go. So I'm gonna put those there. Isn't that pretty? Look at that. This end one's a little on the thick side, but that's okay. And so you could do them in pennies like this circle kind of way, or you could do it long if you want more of a, you know, an oblong shape, you could do that. But I'm gonna keep going with the circles. Now, we have the small little, you know, muffin tin shape. So this might actually be too big. So if this were on a pie, I would say, you know, keep the circles. But for what our purposes are, I might actually cut some of these up into quarters. Oops, let me turn this around so you could see it really pretty. And you could just have pretty quarters to decorate with. There we go. Look at that. Okay, and so we've got our yellow. We've got, well, it's mango color. What color is mango? Kind of an orangey color, orangey yellow. But anyhow, we've got the green, and then we're gonna add a pop of color with the rest of these raspberries that I have. I bought these yesterday. It's so fast we go through them, and it's mostly me. Let me grab a little colander so that I could rinse those off. Okay, here we go. Here are the raspberries. And so you kind of already have a beautiful visual of what this is gonna look like. And so let me go ahead and get the little tarts out of the freezer. I set them in there just while we were getting this ready. Let's decorate it, and we'll try one. Okay, here we are. I got them out, and I think it's really going to be a good idea for me to keep these in the freezer until I'm ready to go, because I think it will really help me to get them out if they're a little bit more firm than they are now. But for now, let's just go ahead and decorate. And you know, I cut these into slices, but I think I might even cut them up even more just because I'm seeing the size of this. So I'm taking each one of these slices and quartering it, and I'm going to do the same thing for the kiwi. I'm just gonna see how many slices I could get. So there's 4. Look at that. I've got like 8 of them in here. Okay, so, and I might even try to cut the raspberry in half. All right, let's decorate. Now, let's see, I'm gonna put a mango that way and a mango piece that way. And let's have a little kiwi, I'm sorry, I said that backwards. We put the kiwi in first, now we're putting in the mango. I am so excited, I can't wait to eat it, that I'm just mixing it all up. And each one of these can be different. And then this one is just gonna have the berry in the middle. Look at that, that's really pretty. I could also cut the berry again for this one and decorate it a little differently, because this is where like your artistic abilities should come in, and just have fun with this. This is all about enjoying and having fun. Play with your food. Did your parents ever tell you, or anyone in charge ever tell you, don't play with your food? I like playing with my food. So I encourage you, play with your food. It's fun. Look at that. Look at that. What do you think? That looks so great. Isn't that pretty? And so I'm just going to go back and forth and do these 2 patterns and see what it looks like when it's all done. Wow. I don't know. So I think I'm going to go back to the smaller, cut up, simple little ones. There we go. And so you could just do whatever makes you happy. And so anyways, let's take a moment. Let's taste this together. Hold on. And then I'm just going to continue to keep decorating these. Now, I don't think it's going to come out very well, but let's try and see how it may or may not hold. No, this is not holding. So what I might do is I might just bring this tray and not have it very pretty and let people scoop it out with a spoon. But for now, let's go ahead and just try this. Here we go. You got it? You looking? You see it? Oh my goodness. Pleasantly surprised. That is good. It is rich. It is creamy. It is fruity. It's refreshing. I really like it. I hope you try it. And, let me know if you figure out a better way to get it out of this kind of a container. I would love to hear from you. I'm going to go ahead and put them in the freezer until we're ready to go in hopes that it will solidify and I can pop them out and put them on a beautiful plate and bring them. But worst case scenario, I'm going to bring it not looking beautiful. And of course, if it is in a pie shaped pan or one of those spring form pans, you might have an easier way of pulling it out. But either way, this is delicious. Okay, so it has been a handful of hours and I just took this out of the freezer and I thought that we would plate it together because I'm getting ready to go and bring it to my potluck. If you were going to serve this, I would suggest that you pop it out, which we're gonna do, and I'm sure it will come out because it's frozen, and then let it thaw just enough to still hold itself in place if you were doing the small ones. And so that's what I'm hoping to do. And here we go. I am, oh, look at that, popping it out and it is holding. Wow, that looks really pretty. And see, that's what I'm talking about. I was hoping to have gotten the crust to go all the way up the side, but even still, that looks really great. So I'm just gonna go ahead and plate these. And it is it's a good, well over an hour before I'm gonna be in a place to serve this. And I'm hoping that that will be enough time for it to thaw and still hold itself in place. So let me know if you try this and if you have different results. And yeah, this is working out really great with the silicone pan. Now, what I could do if it were gonna be a bigger crowd and I just wanted to make these smaller is I could cut them in half, which I do a lot because the potlucks that I go to are more of like a sample. They just like you to, offer a sample. And so what I could do is cut these in half and lay them down and, I may even try to do that. But for right now, let's just see how they plate on this platter. So pretty. Wow. Oh, they fit perfect. Look at this. We have two more. And this little cup here was just some extra fruit that I had put in there. And let's see if I could use it as kind of like a decoration. Hey, 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 look at that. Wow. Oh my goodness. And so here you go. This came out really great. These are raw fruit tarts. You can use any fruit that you want. And gosh, I hope you try these at your next event that you need some kind of dessert and just feel comfortable and confident that this is made of whole foods. So thank you so much, everyone, and I look forward to spending more time with you in the future. Don't forget to eat your greens. Take care. Bye for now.